Welcome back, everybody. This is Wings of Wax, and we are playing Slay the Spire. This is episode 2. Actually, technically, this is episode 5. But this is part 2 of our second run of the Ironclad. Last time, we were able to upgrade our to get Black Blood here. Replaces the Burning Blood, so we can heal 12. We were able to get a Blood Vial. We were able to get an Anchor, as well as an odd mushroom to be able to reduce damage dealt to us whenever we are vulnerable. We also, I'm just kind of touching base to see what we ended off at, so that way I can get a better feel for what direction our deck needs to go in, because it's been a little while since I've recorded. So let's see, we picked up a Reaper, we picked up, looks like we got an Armaments to upgrade, we got a Pommel Strike. So what does that make? 2 Shrug-Offs, and we got a Rage, Dropkick, Combust, and a Dark Shackles. So I would say we're more on the aggressive side. We're looking to potentially go for more clashes, but at least be able to get more value at a clash, or at least find a way to be able to get more value. Since right now we have, what's that, 4, 5, 6... Technically, that counts as 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 cards that make it so that we can't actually cast the Clash. I wouldn't say we're like solely based around trying to get this Clash rolling, but it would be nice to be able to get it down every once in a while. Maybe be able to dual wield it. Is there anything we're like looking to like upgrade right away? I guess like dual wield is something that I feel like is necessary to upgrade. Unless we get rid of it, maybe we remove it from our deck. But I feel like just getting rid of a defend of some sort would be just better for us. As well as upgrading Rage wouldn't be terrible, and upgrading Reaper I feel like is all solid choices for the future of this run. So we are in Act 2. Let's see where we're going to start. Act 2, I still try to go for as many elites as possible. So we have one starting here. Only because I should say that the reason why I like to go for elites in Act 1 and Act 2 is because they're slightly weaker. Whereas Act 3, they can be treacherous. There is a couple, Nemesis is the biggest one. He's probably stronger than most of these bosses, to be honest, and he is an elite that you can fight in Act 3, and I try my best to avoid him because he can destroy runs. So yeah, anyways, so we have one here. We can potentially hit one of these over here. I like the fact that there's a campfire with these two, so I'm probably not going to go down this path, even though there is a campfire here, but I wish there was more campfires, and obviously when we get up here, there's another campfire to be able to... I like campfires before elites, just because you want to have the option of being able to regenerate some of your health before. You want to be able to rest, just in case. So it looks like the best option, because I like unknowns. I like question marks because they lead to more potential relics or just upgrades to our deck sometimes. Every once in a while you get hit with, something that's terrible for you, but I would say more often than not, it's just either like a regular combat or you get like a relic or something like an upgrade. So I feel like they're almost like 50-50s to get something really good for you, for your deck, or really good for your build, whatever you're trying to work for. So let's just start with this one, since that one leads to the more question marks. We do have potions. We have Snecko still. Ugh. We have Power Potion, which is also really good. Unfortunately, we don't have 4 energies, so we can't just go for like taking down one of these guys. We do have 10 armor to start with because of the Anchor, so I think I should just lead with the Combust. That is probably a strong thing to start out with here. And I think we should try to take one of these guys out. This guy's going to buff himself, so he's going to be able to get, I think it's +3 strength, so I would like to take him out ASAP because he's going to be the most problematic. So we're going to bash him so we can deal more damage to him later on. Since we're not taking any damage this turn, which is pretty fantastic. That's kind of why I like the Anchor, because it sets us up to be able to be aggressive like straight off the bat. I think that's really powerful. So he obviously buffed himself. He got himself +1 strength, so he's going to deal 10 this turn. However, we don't really have too much else going on, to be completely honest with you. I mean, we're going to Armaments because it just upgrades everything in our hand. We don't have enough attacks set anyways in our hand to be able to take out like this guy to stop him from actually hurting us. Sure. What is the next option here? We could either... We can afford to take some damage, so I think we're actually just going to try to take this guy out. We're going to put him down to 7, which means next turn he will be dead. So that's at least good for us. The other guys are starting to buff themselves, but because of the combust, we're able to start trying to put some damage on them. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good spot to be in. We do have a drop kick, which I will use because it is free, and we will kill this guy, which is fantastic. I should use the rage. Man, I was not thinking there. That was a misplay. We do have the rage to be able to go with, which we're going to do anyways. We're definitely going to shrug it off. Let's see what we draw. We drew Reaper. All right, Reaper is going to deal 4 damage, which is actually only going to deal 2 damage, whereas the Strike... I feel like Strike Defend is just a better play for us here, because we're going to be able to soak up a little bit more damage, and only gaining like 2 health, basically. I don't think that's worthwhile to really go for the Reaper there, since we're going to gain 12 at the end of combat anyways, so it would not really have mattered too much. So right now, as long as we take 0 damage, we should be good. I would like to go for the Dark Shackles on this guy, since it is a one-time use, because it gets exhausted right away. We do have a Clash, which is fantastic. So I think we can afford to Reaper here. It's only going to deal 2, but that does set us up to be able to use at least a Strike to be able to take out one of these guys, which this guy is probably going to be the most problematic. Can we just kill him? We could. That does use all of our energy for the turn and all of our cards. This is going to deal, what, 7? That was going to deal 4. So we have 11 damage. So we can't actually kill this, even if we tried. So I think we just take out the one that's going to buff himself for next turn, and then we just leave this guy to die on the following. That sounds like the best course of action. He's not going to deal us any damage here. We're going to be able to regenerate all of our health because of Burning Blood. So we're in a pretty good spot. We do have a way to kill you. So this will be 4, and this should be 3. This is correct. This is the way. I just pulled a string out of my sweatshirt there. All right. Let's see. What do we get? We get Infernal Blade, which I really am a big fan of, which is 1 mana, add a random attack into your hand. It costs 0 this turn. Rupture is okay. We don't have enough ways to be able to lose health to be able to take advantage of this, I feel like. If we had more like Combust or like Brutality, I feel like Rupture would have been a solid choice. But because we didn't really go down that path of taking Brutality, I can't argue Rupture to make the cut into our deck. So it either comes down to Infernal Blade or Warcry. Warcry is always a good card just because it's 0 mana to give you an additional option for the turn, which I am not opposed to. It also, I feel like, helps us set up clashes. So that's something that you should keep in mind, because you can just put a skill back on top of your deck to kind of help you potentially be able to help you power out a clash. So, but I do think Infernal Blade is slightly better here, so we will take that. And also I know we can upgrade at that eventually to be able to come 0 mana. And a 0 mana one is fantastic. Okay, Cryptic Writings. Cursed Tome. In an abandoned temple, you find a giant book open, riddled with cryptic writings. As you try to interpret the elaborate script, it begins to shift and morph into writings you are familiar with. So we will go for this, because we can afford to take some HP. So we're going to lose... That was 6 HP, and then we're going to lose another 10 here to obtain the book. Those resurrected by Neo, which is the whale, by the way, that sends us on this quest in the beginning, in case you're wondering. I'm pretty sure I forgot what his name was early on, but now that I see it here, I know who it is. So he is the one, by the way. Remember only fragments of their past selves, cursed to fight for eternity. As you near the final page, your old wounds begin to reopen. So I will obtain a book, and I was hoping it was going to be Necronomicon, but let's see what this one does. At the start of each combat, add a random power card to your hand. It costs 0. That is actually fantastic. Holy crap, that's really good too. I wanted Necronomicon because for the first 2 mana attack that we play, it gets doubled, basically. That's what Necronomicon does. So let's see what we get. We get... that's not going to help us at all. Feel no pain, which is whenever a card is exhausted, gain 3 block. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to go for that here. But I do have to get it out of our hand regardless. It's already upgraded, so whatever. We do have at least 1 exhaust. We have 2 exhausts, actually, technically. So we should probably take advantage of that. Let's just reduce one of these guys. That gives us 3 block additional. Okay. Is it worth it to just go for the Reaper here? Yeah, it probably is. I mean, it's 1 more damage, technically, than the Strike is. and we also still get to go for the clash. I'm going to take out the one that's weaker here. So he's at 13, so he should be dead next turn. Hopefully. You know, things could go poorly, and maybe we don't draw like 3 strikes or enough to be dealing 13 damage. Yeah, we did not. So, what is our options here? I don't feel like dual wield is really strong enough to be able to take out one of these. Maybe we go for the bash and strike to just take this guy out. I think, unfortunately, that is going to be our play for the turn. So we can just, you know, prevent more damage. And then we just have one more guy to deal with. He is going to deal us 10 here, but like we have the Black Blood, we don't really have to worry about taking 10 damage. Or the first 12, I should say. Let's go for the Rage, and he's not attacking, so I got to keep that in mind. Let's go for the Pommel Strike first. See what we draw. We're not going to be shrugging it off, so neither are we going to be drop kicking, so let's just go for the Combust to deal him more damage over time, and be able to go for the Strike here, dealing the most amount of damage. So Combust should deal another 5 damage next turn, then probably one more turn. So it's going to deal 15 at the cost of 3 health, which I think is reasonable enough. He's going to be dipping on us. Oh god, we gotta figure out a way to get you dead. Let's start with the Infernal Blade, see what that leads. Fiend Fire, so deal 7. So what? We're going to deal 28 damage. You are so close, but you are not quite there, my friend. So this does cost 0 though, so we can. Yeah, these are going to deal 7. Oh, man. We could go for the Snecko. Yeah, let's go for the Snecko here. This is like the one time I feel like Snecko is actually going to be worth it. And that way we can Fiend Fire this. There we go. We were able to get use out of the Snecko oil rather than discarding it. So I am pretty happy with that. We get a Blood Potion, by the way, which heals us for 20% of our max HP. So that'll be pretty decent later on. Spot Weakness is a fantastic card. So isn't Ghostly Armor. I do think Spot Weakness is better for us since we are a bit more aggressive, though. Ghostly Armor has Ethereal, which means you have to cast it the first turn that you draw it. Otherwise, you lose it. But I do think that Spot Weakness giving us 4 strength for the remainder of the match. By the way, every time we draw Spot Weakness, it will continue to give us +4 as long as we target a attacking enemy. So we will take our 25 gold. While your HP is at or below 50%, you have 3 additional strength. Oh my goodness, that is actually really powerful, especially against bosses. Oh man, I think that's worth it to go over the Sapphire Key, and we just hope we can pick up a Sapphire Key later on. You know, if it was a mediocre or obviously a dead relic, we clearly would have just taken the Sapphire Key, but that does not feel like a dead card. So let's head for, well, it doesn't matter because we're probably going to go towards that fire right there. I was getting ahead of myself. All right, we got a 0-mana Metallicize. We can Armaments to upgrade that Metallicize, which I am pretty okay with here. Unfortunately, though, we have nothing else to do this turn. So, and our HP or our block does not carry over. So, I think the only thing I will do here is just get one of his artifacts, get rid of one of those. That is unfortunately the only thing I can do. I mean, I could go for like a Power Potion here. I don't think it's really worth it. These guys are not elites. So we'll just hope that we can actually find something that's going to benefit us on the next turn. Maybe some solid attacks. These guys are probably going to attack this turn, which they are. Okay, so we can go for the Combust, which opens up the Clash. I like that. So why don't we do that? And we're going to be taking some damage here. That's okay. I think I'm going to go for the Sentry here first, since he is the most problematic out of these two. We'll set him up to be able to die on the following turn. Oh yeah, we have 4 plate armor. How come we have 4 plate? Oh, because of the Metallicize. Right. It's not plated. It's just regular armor, because plated actually degrades. So, we do have Spot Weakness, though. That is actually a pretty fantastic card to see here. Well, we're not going to be, like, poisoning the, what's his name? Spheric Guardian. So, I do feel like going for the Spot Weakness is going to help us overall. We could go for the Infernal Blade first and see what that gives us. It gives us a Headbutt, which could put the Spot Weakness back on top of our deck. Is there anything we actually would rather have on top of our deck, though? I mean, like, Armaments is never a terrible choice. Reaper is okay. Unfortunately, we can't draw the Reaper, can we? Well, the Reaper, I don't think how much damage does it deal? It only deals 4. So it doesn't matter if we get it on top. Oh no, he's vulnerable, so he actually could die. Is that really worth going through all that hassle? We don't have enough mana to be able to do that. Yeah, okay. So no, let's ignore that. Spot weakness is probably going to be the play here. I could go for the shrug it off. We do want the sentry dead. Yeah, let's just make our plays here. So we have to deal 6 damage to you, which means we could pommel strike this guy. I mean, they all deal... these both deal enough damage. I guess I don't have to go for the attack. I can just go for the headbutt here and put... I think we just put armaments back on top because we're not going to guarantee that he's actually going to go for an attack next turn. So otherwise I would go for the spot weakness. I think we go for armaments for next turn. And then I think to prevent some damage this turn, we go for the shrug it off. We should have gone for the shrug it off first. You fool. That's okay. You know, that's our mistake for this episode. Let's try not to make any more. That would be preferable. Let's go for the rage. We will go for shrug it off to try to make sure we can prevent all of his damage this turn. Oh, that's not enough energy. Right. We still did a pretty decent number on him, though. Man, he was attacking and he was buffing up his defend that turn. That is unfortunate. We don't really want to dual wield any of this, right? Yeah, I don't think so. We could like double armaments, but then we don't get the spot weakness and be able to try to set up. Yeah, he's already frailed us, so let's just go for, you know, our normal play here. Try to deal as much damage as possible. Go up to 7 block. We're taking damage here, which is unfortunate. I can't believe I made that headbutt move. I've played with headbutts for so long that I feel like, you know, you're just a tricky card to me. It's really not that tricky of a card, but let's go for the shrug it off first and see what we draw. We drew a clash, which means we have to get rid of the defend if we want to be able to cast the clash. I think that's fine. That's a lot of damage. We could go for the Reaper here too, though, but then we don't get to actually go for the clash. This does deal 15 damage, though, which is actually reasonable. You know what? I think actually gaining the 15 health here is better than actually trying to deal him as much damage as possible this turn. He is putting up 30 more block. You know, I think this is the correct play, just so we can regain some... Oh my god, it's unblocked damage, you fool! Yeah, we're making sloppy plays here. You gotta read RTFC, right? Read the friggin' card. There we go. Okay, back to business. Let's see. So let's pommel strike first. See what he's got. We're dealing double damage, 50% more damage, or we just have 3 extra strength because of that. Okay. We can kill you, so we should totally do that. Yeah. Man, 2 mistakes in 1 combat. There we go. That's how we start off a video, right? None of these are really worthwhile. Searing Blow is probably the only card I'm considering, but you know, we're not going to upgrade it, so, you know, goodbye. All right, we are at 49 health. Let's just take a look to see if anything is really worthwhile. So obviously we have the Infernal Blade. That costing 0 would be fantastic. I mean, Combust is something that I feel like we can continually get value off of. Dual Wield is a necessary card that I feel like should also be considered, but I think Infernal Blade gets the upgrade before Dual Wield here. And Rage, yeah. So I think we go for the Infernal Blade upgrade and just say 49 health is enough. Plus we have a 20% potion here to take advantage and be able to defeat this elite. I think this should be enough. These are one of the harder ones. We did get a 0-mana barricade. That's pretty funny. Yeah, we will definitely cast that. I don't see why we wouldn't cast that. Let's see what Infernal Weakness has to offer for us. That's a Sever Soul. Okie dokie. Well, we should spot weakness regardless of whatever else we do this turn. And it looks like we're just going to be shrugging it off and, you know, trying to... We have plenty of cards in our hands, so let's just try to take out... I'm going to take out the guy in the back. So the guy with the web is the one that actually entangles us, which prevents us from attacking for a turn. So that's the reason why I go after him. Dual Wield on a double Sever Soul, eh? That's interesting. Yeah, I believe this works. Oh boy. Oh boy. All right. 20 damage, and 18 damage. So we only need one of these to hit you. And then that will take you out. It's perfect. And then I think this guy is the next target we go after. We're not taking any damage this turn. Fantastic. And we have barricade up. Oh boy, this is good. I think this is gonna go well. I think this is gonna go well. We just gotta mitigate our mistakes here. And as I said, I'm still learning the game, so I'm still trying to figure out all the interactions, and it's definitely not an easy thing to start off right away and make all the correct plays. Not that I'm giving myself excuses to make misplays, but I am doing my best to prevent them. So I think we start off with a pommel strike. That sounds like the best option here. We potentially could go for the shrug it off, but we do want to try to kill him if we can. We can kill him, so yeah, we should do that. Do I want to... This is not going to kill you, so yes, we do have to go for the strike here. You are dead. Next round, please. This guy's not going to stand a chance. We do have Reaper to be able to gain some HP back. Let's do that. He doesn't have any armor up. He doesn't have any armor up this time, okay? We're learning. We're learning. Just deal him enough damage there. We do have the barricade, so I could have gone for that, but I feel like just dealing some extra damage there would have been more beneficial to us. We have Dark Shackles. Excuse me, there goes my voice. Shrug it off so we can draw a card. We did draw another attack, which I am a big fan of here. So let's go for the 2 attacks and just Dark Shackles him so that we can just keep carrying over the barricade armor. So that makes sense. All right, we have Rage, which we will cast. Unfortunately, no, we can still Sever Soul. Yeah, well, he's just dead this turn. Like, we have Clash. Perfect. That went a lot smoother. So we upgraded 2 skills there. That was pretty decent, actually. We have another Clash. We have Cleave. We have Infernal Blade. Cleave is not a terrible card. I actually think that's one of the more valuable ones. I think Infernal Blade, though, number 2, is just better. But just because it can put a 2 or 3 mana attack into our hand that is free. So, like, obviously a 0 or a 1 mana attack means we, like, basically break even on it. But obviously not a 0 mana, but a 1 mana one we break even on. But we have like a 50-50 shot of actually getting a 3 or a 2 mana card to be able to get for free. So we get a reasonable discount. I do think Cleave is really good, but I think I'm going to go with Infernal Blade because that leads to more wins for me. So Cleave is really strong, though. I maybe should have taken that. We do not need to heal, so let's take a look to see if... Ooh, we get Battle Trance. Oh, boy. Is that the best card here for us? I think it is. Oh, baby. Ooh, I love more options. I would say my second choice would probably be Seeing Red. Yeah, I think we just go with the Battle Trance because I just love drawing cards and having more options. And we already have a Headbutt in the deck, so... Right? We do? Right? I gotta double check. We don't. Oh boy, we don't have a Headbutt. I mean, it's still a fantastic card by itself. Unfortunately, it'll make it so like we can't activate like Clash more often. But I do think if we can get more 0 casting cost cards, that Battle Trance will be fantastic. So, and we already picked up that Infernal Blade, which obviously will help if we can turn that into 0 mana. Oh, we get Nunchuck. Nunchaku. How greedy do we want to be? Oh boy. We have one more option to be able to fight another elite. We do get a campfire before then, and we also could just go for the campfire to be able to recall so we can get another key piece, which we need one more key piece by the time we finish this floor. I'm pretty sure this one doesn't give us the key piece. Or maybe I'm just taking the key piece before, and that's why I didn't offer it. Maybe you can only take 1 key piece per act in campfires. That might be the reason. I think we get greedy. Nunchaku is fantastic. All right, next enemy. Ooh, these guys are a little tough, but I think we can get there. We have what? Dark Embrace. Whenever a card is exhausted, draw a card. Well, obviously, for free, we're going to do that. We can battle trance first, see if we get more options. So we're blocking 10. I'm wondering if we should go for the dual wield on spot weakness so we can just, you know, just power through this. I think that's the best play, actually. Like, we could go for combust, which is not terrible, but spot weakness is basically just like a better additional, a second spot weakness. Make sure we can do the skill. Nope, nope. I'm sure all of you watching were then just realized that I was about to make a mistake there and actually go for the dual wield on the spot weakness, which you cannot. See, I don't use dual wield enough. This is why I need to use this card a little bit more, but yeah, we cannot dual wield a spot weakness, in case you're wondering. That is unfortunate. We could go for the combust still. That's not a terrible choice. But the problem is then we don't actually get to be able to go for the spot weakness, and I think the spot weakness is better for us here, because we also get to go for the combust regardless. And I think just to make sure we don't take any more damage than we have to, yeah, let's just block up here. We just set it up so like the next couple of turns are going to do some pretty decent damage to them. I think we're happy with that play. I'm really glad I didn't make that mistake. I was like, well, let me read dual wield one more time before I decide to go for this, and I'm really glad I did there. Let's start with the Infernal Blade, see what we get. We get Drop Kick, which also draws us another card. So there we go. Man, this is not a good turn for us. We get 2 attacks, and I guess we'll shrug it off. Like, we'll see what we draw. Draw a Pommel Strike. Yeah, let's Pommel Strike. We're going to try to take out the Mystic, even though this guy's going to defend for the Mystic, and this guy's probably going to heal both of them. So no matter what, we're just going to try to deal as much damage as possible here. Yeah, there's no reason to use Dark Shackles. Let's just pass the turn. So he's going to put a block. The Knight's going to put a block on the Mystic. What is this guy's called? He's called Centurion. And this, yeah, this is a Mystic. Okay. Armaments is a pretty good play here, so let's go for that. And then we have Rage to be able to go for double strike, so that way we can actually get some extra. We do want to take out this guy as quickly as possible. Once one of them is dead, then we'll be in a better situation. This guy is dead now because of Combust, so perfect. We're taking 1 damage here. I think that is reasonable enough for us. Let's go for the Infernal Blade first. See what we get. We get Sever Soul. He's dealing 16 damage this turn, so let's see what we can do here. We can't kill him, that is for sure. So I think we should go for the Shrug It Off to be able to get some extra defense up. We did draw Dark Shackles, which is pretty decent. So is this a turn to really go for Dark Shackles, though? It does cost 0, which means we can Sever Soul to get rid of the defend and be able to still be able to cast a Strike and a Clash. I think that is worthwhile, actually. That sounds reasonable enough for me. Let's go for the Sever Soul. Perfect. Unfortunately, we exhausted a card, so we actually could have like boned ourselves there. And potentially drawn a strike. So this actually deals 12. So we'll deal the 12 damage and the 18 damage. All right, this is looking pretty good. He is about to be dead. And as long as we can kill him this turn, we actually will still end off at full health here. So that is actually fantastic. Yeah, just dead. I was trying to think of, like, do we have any cards in our deck that, like, if fatal damage, you know? So we do have 1 way to gain strength, but I don't think that's enough to really warrant going for Heavy Blade here. Sword Boomerang I don't really like because I don't like random. Dealing 9 damage, though, is pretty powerful. And there is a time and a place to take this, which is when you get more strength bonuses. But I don't think this is the time and place to take that. So True Grit is the only thing that I'm really considering, but I do have to upgrade it in order for me to get pure value out of it. I think I'm just going to pass, though. I don't think there's enough reason to be able to go for any of these. I should take a look at the map, though. We are about to hit a campfire, and what are our targets right now? I keep looking at targets for upgrades. So Infernal Blade is definitely like numero uno. Rage is probably... Rage and Dual Wield are probably number 2 and number 3. We're getting to a place, though, when Dual Wield could be beneficial, because dual wielding an Infernal Blade target is pretty good, but... is it worth taking a True Grit so that way we can upgrade it here? How many defends? We haven't really gotten rid of anything. We've gotten rid of one defend out of the original deck, because that'd be what I'd be looking to exhaust, is strikes and defends. And potentially dual wields when they're dead. We are about to hit the campfire. You know what? We're going to give it a shot. I think it's going to be more beneficial to us. And I'm just going to go straight to upgrading that. Oh, we do get the recall here. But we could potentially recall. Yeah, I have to commit to this. No, actually I don't, because we can make it so the last card in our hand is like a defend or something, or a strike. So I don't have to commit to this right away. So I think actually going for this recall right now is probably just best for us, because like I said, we do really need to get a key piece right now if we want to actually be able to have a chance to fight the end boss, which makes me think that maybe we shouldn't have actually taken that True Grit, but we did. We're here. We're gonna go for brutality. We're gonna go for spot weakness. I guess we should go for battle trance. We should have done that first, but we have drop kick. Should I go for the rage? Yes, we should. I could duplicate this. I think that's actually beneficial to us. So let's go for the dual wield on the drop kick. Perfecto. Deal some extra damage, draw some extra cards. We don't get to draw cards because we have battle trance, correct. And then we get to combust. So, and we get defend. How did I get an extra energy there? Oh, I got the extra energy from the... Right, from the drop kicks, which means we could have gone for the heal, but it didn't matter because we weren't going to do that anyways. All right, Infernal Blade is probably what we start with here. See what we get. We get Twin Strike. If I go for defend, we can definitely deal some extra damage this turn. I think that's worthwhile because we do have the Clash, which we'll just start with the Clash so we can get that out of our hand, because we're probably going to Pommel Strike here. Which obviously we're not going to be able to cast anything here. This isn't elite, so we should consider actually using a potion, but we're not really at that stage where I feel like we're going to need it. He's already at half health, and we're only taking our first bit of damage here. We do get 3 wounds, which obviously is, you know, not fun, but hey, we get armaments here to be able to upgrade our True Grit, which potentially can get rid of a future dead card. Let's go for Shrug It Off. We got Infernal Blade. Oof. Clothesline, yes! A free, or a 1 mana, was that free? I think that was free. Clothesline there was fantastic. So that was really good for us. True Grit to make sure he doesn't deal us any more damage, but then we don't really need to exhaust anything, and he's only dealing us 15, so let's just deal him the extra 13 damage here. You be dead quicker. That's what matters here. We gotta kill him as quickly as possible, because this is a deadly enemy. Okay, so what are we at? We could just Dark Shackles and make it so he deals nothing this turn. That sounds like a pretty good use of the Dark Shackles. And then we get to bash, go for a strike. And we can potentially kill him on the following turn. And we've only taken 20 damage, which means we're going to heal 12 and go back up to 8 minus our full. So that's pretty good. I will accept that. That is a reasonable amount. Which is actually 9. Whenever you play 10 cards, draw a card. Gain 2 strength, which is going to be very useful. We could go for another strength, or I'm sorry, another clash, or we go for a limit break, which doubles our strength, which we only have the one way to boost our strength. However, we do have the potion now. I don't think limit break is worth it. We don't have enough ways to take advantage of strength. Typically, it is a really good aggressive card, but we just don't have any ways to... We only have, like, 1 or 2 things that actually will benefit it, you know? We'll get value out of. I don't think it's worth it. I really don't. I think it's only worth it if we actually draw our spot weakness, and even then, if the opponent's not attacking, that's 2 dead cards in our hand. So, I don't think it's worth going for the limit break here, as much as I hate to say it. Another clash, though, is not a terrible option. A power through is obviously pretty good too, but I feel like power through is more for like the barricade decks. It is really powerful because it does gain you 15 block, and 15 block is really, really good. But I think for 0 mana, deal 14 damage, and we've been having some consistent turns where we can actually set up clash. I think it's worth it for us to go for another clash here. We got Juggernaut for free. That's actually pretty cool. Let's start with the Infernal Blade. We get a 0 mana clash. Let's go for the Juggernaut. Let's go for the Infernal Blade. We get a Clothesline, which is also really good for us. let's see here. They're dealing 18 damage. So let's prevent some of that damage. So now we're only going to take 14. So we're only going to take 4 here. Is it better for us to go for the Reaper? I think we can take full advantage of the Reaper here, so we might as well. The only other way we'd be able to do that is if we drew a spot weakness and then we have Reaper out, so then we can get more health. But I'm okay with this right now, honestly. I think that's fine. And I think we want to kill this, even though it's going to make us vulnerable. We can't kill it this... actually, we can kill it this turn. So we should kill it this turn. He is dead. Right, because we have vulnerable on him because of the marbles. Durr. You know, I would say, like, the number one thing I always forget is, like, what relics we have, because we get so many of them, and at the start of every run, you just get, like, random assortments of them. So it's easy to lose track. Let's go for the Shrug It Off, which means we don't technically have to block this turn. We have a Combust, and we might as well just go for this, and, you know. Didn't matter if we could actually cast that or not. The Rage, that is. I gotta remember Nunchaku, because that's actually going to be beneficial to us, so we should go for the Shrug It Off first, before I go for the Battle Trance here. Let's go for Battle Trance. Looks like we're not going to be able to activate our Clash. We did, however, get Armament and Spot Weakness, which I think is a pretty solid turn to set up both of those. So let's set up for the following couple of turns. I'm not going to use Dark Shackles here because obviously we can't take advantage of it. I want to be able to use that on a turn where we can actually use it for its full potential, its full value. We're not going to be able to block here, so... I want to bash, I want to pommel, and I want to clash, but I shouldn't do it in that order, obviously. So let's bash, let's clash, let's pommel. He be dead. Poifectus. Okay, let's see. Gain 1 ritual, which is a strength, which means we're going to get 1 strength at the end of all of our turns. Is that worth getting rid of a power? We're definitely not worth getting rid of the heal. The heal I think is worthwhile, but the power might be worth getting rid of this. Which means we could have had potential being able to use that. Ooh, we get the option of cleave here again. Do we take it this time? We obviously haven't needed it. It is really powerful though. It's really good on turn 1 because we have the vulnerability, the marbles. It is a good card. I think we're gonna take it here. Yeah, I have no real reason to not take it. So other than just like the fact that our deck is starting to get a little girthy, a little thick, 2 C's, you know. None of these cards really like stand out to me. Disarm is fine. Headbutt is obviously something actually I'm looking at now that I think about it. So let's see what we got. We have Ceramic Fish, which is whenever you add a card, you also get 9 gold. Not really worth it. Healing effects deal 50% more during combat, so technically this would heal us 30. And whenever you break enemy's block, apply 2 vulnerable. Actually, that is really good for us, to be honest with you, because we are very aggressive and we do break block. But it only happens when we break the block. It's not when we deal, you know, unblocked damage. So there is some worry there that maybe I feel like this is still worthwhile. Applying 2 vulnerable for 2 turns, they just become, yeah, that sounds reasonable enough for us. We have 192 gold left, so let's remove a card. I'm just going to remove a basic strike, I think, here. And I think we go for a headbutt to replace that basic strike. Since we already have Battle Trance anyways, and also we have Infernal Blades and so on and so forth. We also get to upgrade a card here, so what card are we going to upgrade? I mean, I could go for the dual wield this time. Infernal Blade, I'm still eyeballing you, buddy. True Grit's not terrible either, so it's still the same choices. Like, we keep coming up to the same choices here. But I honestly think that the Infernal Blade takes the cake out of all these. Having a 0 mana attack card is just fantastic. Alright, so we get, he's called the Champ. I was thinking he was the Knight. Let's start with Infernal Blades. We get Hemokinesis and Headbutt. So let's prevent his damage this turn. Let's just start off with that. We did draw Armaments, which is fantastic. So we should do that here. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter. We're casting all the cards in our hand, right? Yes, we are. We do have Hemokinesis, which is going to hurt us for 2, but, you know, it deals a lot of damage here. Yep, doesn't matter. Maybe I should pull a potion here. Stop. I know we just did a couple of things, but it's still early enough where we should consider, you know, dumping a potion here. I think this is probably the weakest one, so let's pop that one first. So we want to put, I think, Armaments on top of our deck. I think that is the strongest play here. Because obviously we have nothing else for like really 0 mana that's going to help us, since we already got rid of the Infernal Blades. Oh, right, we can't ever really put Infernal Blades on top of our deck. I forgot. Let's go for the Battle Trance. Yeah, let's go for the Battle Trance. Now we go for the Armaments. I would like another Combust here, because that's going to help us in the long run. We could go for the True Grit, which if we do that, what are we getting rid of? Probably just like Defend or Strike. That is the option. Let's be more defensive this time, and the next time we get the choice, we'll take out a Defend if we have the option, so I think that's worthwhile. So I'm excited to use this this Cultist Potion against like a better enemy, but for right now, he's not really the enemy we want to do this on. So we can heal 10, but obviously it doesn't really do much for us, so let's just go for as much damage as possible. And we're going to take 20, which is actually going to be 22, because of the Combusts. The Plural. What do we got? We have Bash here to be able to set him up to be able to hurt him next turn real good. I like that. I like that a lot. Let's go for the Cleave, because that's more damage than a Strike here. I'm just trying to get him down as quickly as I can. So he just frailed us, and he also weakened us, and I'm sorry, he weakened us and vulnerable us. So what is our best option here? We do want to prevent as much damage as possible, so let's start with the Shrug It Off. Is there anything we want to return? We have just a Shrug It Off, obviously. We just cast that. We just shuffled our deck. Durr. Having another Shrug It Off, though, for next turn is not an awful choice. I feel like that is a reasonable thing to do here. Hemokinesis, you know, hitting him is also pretty good. We probably want to go for the Defend here. Yeah, we should go for the Defense. That way we can actually go for the Clash as well. It's just extra damage, you know, overall. And we will put... I think we're going to put Shrug It Off on top of the deck, because he's not going to be vulnerable next turn, and I want a way to be able to prevent... Why did we draw that? What? Why did we draw that? Did I miss something again? Like, that was clearly a mistake, but what caused us to draw that? It was Ink Bottle. Okay, yeah, I missed Ink Bottle, that's why. That's unfortunate, but, you know, it's not the end of the world. It is definitely something I wasn't paying close attention to. It's tough to pay attention to these guys, but now that I have that in my sights, I should be able to be a little bit more coherent. So let's go for the Rage. Not that it really matters, because Rage actually doesn't do anything here. I don't want to get rid of the Rage. Sure. Is there anything we want on top of our deck that we can draw this turn? I don't think Shrug It Off is really worthwhile. Clash is reasonable enough. Do we have enough ways to be able to play Clash, though? Yes, we do, because technically we can go for the Headbutt, which puts it on top of our deck, and then we can Shrug It Off to be able to draw it, and we have True Grit, or we can go for the Drop Kick here. Yeah, that sounds reasonable enough. Let's put Clash on top of the deck, and then we Shrug It Off. This also... Deal 8 damage. If the enemy is vulnerable, gain 1 energy and draw a card. How come I got an energy last time? Oh, it's because Nunchaku. That is why. Let's actually just get rid of the drop kick here. Since we don't really have enough ways to activate vulnerability. I feel like that's just more beneficial to us to just get rid of that now. So we do got to keep in mind he's going to go into another phase here where he's going to get a bunch of strength, and we do have the potion to be able to heal us up a little bit more. So we have to keep that in mind. But also we want to be able to, if we can help it, take advantage of this red skull. So he is attacking us this turn. So let's start with a spot weakness, which then opens us up to be able to go for a pommel strike. Let's see what we draw. We drew a defend. Okay. Defend does save us a little bit of HP. Not really too much, but I think enough to warrant actually going for it here. It also makes it so we can actually cast the Clash too. So yeah, that makes a lot more sense to me here. Oh, we have Nanshaku. So let's deal 18 damage. All sets. Unfortunately, we drew the bash there, because that would have been nice to have this turn too. Okay, so we can heal if necessary here. We can heal. Let's go for the battle trance first and see what we get. We don't have enough to kill him. That's unfortunate. So let's see. We can block 5. We can block 8. So we have 13. We have 21. I think that might be the best play for this turn, since he's taking 14 damage from the combusts anyways. And we just hope that we have a chance to be able to kill him on the following turn. It feels weird to do this, but at the same time, I could see why it would be correct. Because we didn't have enough damage to be able to kill him that turn. So he's only dealing 18 this turn. Do we have ways to be able to kill you here? 25... 27, so technically we have enough damage, but we have to be able to get the Clash. So let's headbutt. Doesn't really matter what we put on top, honestly. We'll put a battle trance. That'll make it so we actually can't. It does, yeah, it really doesn't matter. We can go for dual wield. How about that? And then from here we can go for the True Grit to get rid of Shrug It Off, which then would be able to deal 27 damage. And then be able to lethal you. That was close, but I think we had it in the bag because we had the extra 20% heal there. So overall, I definitely could have played that a little better, but we do have double tap. Oof, that is a good card, and I think it's definitely going to make the cut for this deck. Berserk, like I said, good card. You know, I don't think this is a deck for it. I feel like decks that take advantage of more block are more looking for Berserk, even though Berserk, when you think of it, means that like typically you're going to be taking extra damage so that way you can deal more damage. But the way that if it like gave you like extra strength, like it gave you like the cultist potion up here, like the ritual to gain 1 strength at the end of your turn. If it was something like that, like it gave you a strength at the end of your turn, I could definitely see this being an aggressive strategy. But I don't think this is really for aggressive strategies, which is weird because it's called Berserk, because it feels like it's for defensive strategies only. Feed is pretty decent, but I don't think we're at that point where we can get enough value out of it. And I also just think double tap is just, you know, doubling any attack is really good. So we have Empty Cage, which is upon pickup, remove 2 cards from your deck. That's pretty decent. I actually am valuing that pretty high. We have Transform 3 cards and upgrade them. This is not terrible. We could get rid of some strikes and some defends. Whenever you lose HP, draw 1 card. Runic Cube is good, but I think the other ones are just better. I like this. There's definitely some value to be had with Runic Cube to be able to get more options, but we don't have like an excess of mana or energy right now, so I don't think we can fully take advantage of Runic Cube. Whereas like Empty Cage, removing 2 cards right now is pretty reasonable, or we can just transform a couple of like mostly dead cards and upgrade them into better cards potentially. The only issue is that I don't like the transforming because it can give you cards that are just not synergistic to your deck. And we're at that stage where that will really hurt us. If that was something we could find, if that relic was something we could find early on, I feel like we could have taken that, and whatever we got randomly from that, we could have actually used that as a direction to build the deck. But as of right now, I think just removing cards is probably the best option. So let's get rid of a strike and a defend and try to make this deck a little light. Well, more heavy with big threats. All right, that's going to do it for this episode. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you, obviously, I pointed out many misplays there, but if you saw anything else that maybe I missed that I didn't bring up, feel free to bring it up in the comments. I am, like I said, trying to get better at this game. I've only played it for about 2 weeks now, and I still have plenty to learn, especially with synergies, especially with deck archetypes, so on and so forth. But I'm hoping that I can learn it over time and be able to just, instead of like, net decking, I guess, or looking at the top strategies, I kind of just want to learn it on my own, I have watched like Sinvicta, and I've seen the Barricade deck, which his Barricade deck was fantastic. And I've watched a lot of Northern Lion, but Northern Lion, he plays fast and loose, and he doesn't like put, I feel like, enough thought and process into his plays. Maybe that's changed because I've really only seen the first 40-ish episodes of his series right now. Maybe the other 350 episodes that he has probably got better, I would imagine, because it's only just a matter of like buckling down and having some patience to be able to get better at this game. But I try not to go for the fast and loose. I try to make it so that way I'm winning more consistently. I like to win more consistently. And fast and loose, it's just not my style. I just don't like doing it. But yeah, anyways, hopefully you like this type of commentary. I really have been enjoying this game. I have been enjoying it a lot. I've been playing it basically whenever I have free time, which tonight I had some free time, so that's why I decided to sit down and actually get some stuff rolling. I think actually it looks like the audio is not working. No, the audio is working. Okay. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. It really helps me know if you actually want to watch more and what type of content you want to see in the future. I was thinking about maybe even doing like some stipulations and stuff like that, like only taking negative cards, or forcing an archetype, or stuff like that, as maybe like goals for the channel, for the videos. And I think that would be a fun thing to do. If you can think of any other like stipulations that maybe you would want to have as like a goal, I feel like that would be that would help me out a lot, because I only have so much time to really think about this stuff. Like I said, I do work. I have 3 businesses that I run, and they consume a lot of my time. But whenever I have free time, I love to play Slay the Spire. So yeah, without further ado though, have yourself a good night, everybody, or a good day wherever you are, whatever time it is. Good luck and grind on.